Okay. Okay. So, Jamie, how can I help you today?
Well, I've gone through a lot of changes in life, with personal life and at work, and just trying to find some maybe better coping mechanisms.
Okay. What changes have been going on?
Ooh, big ones. So, recently divorced, and while that was in the end a good thing, just a lot to go along with that. And then got a big surprise at work where might have been losing my job and very anxious and worried about finances and being on my own, and finally found out that I do have a job, just in a different place with new people and different policies. And so it's just lots of adjustments, lots of changes.
Okay. How long have you worked there?
I've worked with the same company for 20 years.
Wow.
So yeah, really comfortable where I was and my coworkers. And now it's this big new place and some different people. And yeah,
Yeah. How did they let you know?
ah, that was probably not one of the better ways.
Okay.
So, uh, my coworkers in my office, along with, I don't know, 20 other people, were all thrown together. And those other 20 people were actually losing their jobs. And they didn't make it clear to us that we were relatively safe. So, it was very sudden. Uh, I don't know that there's a good way to handle it, but I think there maybe was a better way.
Okay. So I'm hearing a lot of frustration, anxiety, just from them kind of dropping a big stress bomb on you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And right before Christmas. So, what should be a very happy time ended up being a very stressful time. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just never good timing, but that was just particularly poor.
Yeah. Is it okay if I take notes?
Sure.
Okay. It's just for me and my memory and everything. Um, when you're saying that you wish they would have handled it better, how do you think they could have done that?
Well, first there was an email. I think it was on a Monday night after work, and it was very auspicious. We're all going to get together, and we're not telling you what it's about, but just from previous experience there, it just was very foreboding, not a good sign.
Yeah, I can imagine that would cause a lot of anxiety.
Yeah,
And then having just to wait, you
absolutely.
know, with no information.
None whatsoever. And then you go to work the next day and uh, they're canceling patients, which they never do. So then it becomes even, more of a dire situation and can't focus on the task at hand and
Mm-hmm.
trying to message other people to see what they know and try to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And so you said you might have been safe and other people were definitely losing their jobs.
Yes,
Okay.
it was made clear that definitely people were losing jobs.
And you didn't know if you were going to
I
be
didn't
one of
have a
them.
clue.
Okay.
So again, being in the same place for 20 years, I thought I was pretty safe and
Yeah.
relatively comfortable there. There's always ups and downs, but this one was probably one of the worst
Yeah.
things. Again, single and a mortgage, and you think about finances and
Mm-hmm.
uh,
And with going through a divorce, I'm also divorced. I know that's not a cheap thing to go through financially. So, and with that, and then you might not have employment. I can imagine how scary that would be. Also,
yeah,
Uh, in addition to the stress and the anxiety and the frustration.
yeah, I've always been very independent on my own, kind of growing up and through life, and it's worked out. And all of a sudden, I'm still independent and on my own, but not as much in control of my fate.
Okay. Yeah. Do you like to be in control of everything?
Yeah, I,
Okay.
I think that's definitely part of my personality, and it's a part of my work. I get to work autonomously, and uh, that was taken away from me. So that's always a
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable. Not a bad thing at all times. I don't need to be a control freak. I know that. Working on that. But this was one that was just seemed to be spiraling out of control.
Yeah. It sounds like you find safety in control of your own self, anyways, what you can control.
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to rely on others if you've been let down in the past. Um,
Hmm.
you just try to make your own situation the best you can without having to, I'll say trust someone, but just believe they're going to be there and do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah. Um, do you have any ways of dealing with stress normally?
I mean, I love to exercise.
Okay.
Bicycle a lot, lift weights. It's wintertime, so bicycling is limited. It's not as much fun when you're stuck inside in the basement.
Hmm.
Like to be outside, sunshine, fresh air, and it's wintertime.
So not only did you go through the divorce, did you possibly lose your job, but you're also confined inside, and
Yeah,
what you like to do is be outside, and uh, that was taken away from you just by the season,
sure.
which makes things
Yeah,
more stressful.
yeah. And I feel that every winter at some point when we have these dark, dreary days and stuck
Hmm.
inside, but I'm aware of that, and
Hmm.
that's okay. Uh, it just definitely did not help this time.
Hmm. Do you feel like you were talking about coping skills earlier? So exercise. Do you feel like that helped this time, or was it so stressful and so much at once that it was just not enough?
I mean, I definitely felt distracted when I was working out. So maybe it wasn't getting as much benefit as I would normally, just like from the physical aspect, but also that kind of that stress relief from it.
Hmm.
Uh,
Did you try anything new when you found that exercise wasn't really working, or
I mean, I
it could be a hobby or maybe a project around the house?
I talked to my good friends and my sister a bit more, and they tried to reassure me and try to help find hobbies, and we came up with some ideas. I don't know that I've followed through. Started reading a
Okay.
little bit, which was good. I like to read, just have to be in the right frame of mind for it to be able to focus.
Hmm.
Um, so I think, I mean, I don't do anything meditating or deep breathing, but I don't know, just something else that I can redirect myself, my
Hmm.
thoughts. Because sometimes that can just be, again, going one direction all the time, and that doesn't always help.
Yeah.
Um,
So kind of maybe finding a way to channel all that energy into something, you know, less anxiety ridden type of, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
When you were talking about you have a sister
Mhm.
and you have close friends, do you have a good support network?
It's small, but I think they're really good people in it.
Okay.
Um,
And they were pretty supportive and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, friend called and checked up on me the other night, and I appreciate that.
Hmm.
Um,
Do
I
you
don't,
normally reach out to people when you're stressed out?
not right away.
Okay.
Uh, I'm gonna usually stew in my own head for a while, and
Why do you think that is?
I think it's just hard for maybe sometimes to express what I'm feeling. I can always say I'm frustrated or I'm angry, but there's more than that to
Yeah.
it.
Like, why are you frustrated? Why
Yes,
are you angry?
yes.
Okay. Do you go into that, in your own head, like think about it, even though maybe you're not talking to somebody else about it, and try to figure out the why behind it?
I think a little bit more lately. I think for the past, I don't know, 5, 10 years, it's at almost cruise control, not any major bumps in the road where I've had to. So it's just like a muscle that hasn't been worked before. Like when you start to use it again, it's like, I don't remember how to do this. I get sore. It can be just it's just a different experience and a different time of life.
Yeah.
45 now, and if something happened 10 years ago or 15 years ago, I probably would have handled it in a different way. I realize now there's probably better ways.
Hmm.
Just need to figure out how I can get there.
Okay. Is that something that you'd like to work with here?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the big things.
Okay.